On Monday, Mr President, the New South Wales government, rather than the Victorian government, reached an agreement with public school teachers to improve pay and conditions. The new deal involves a pay rise of 10% over 3 years, with 2 extra pupil-free days per year. The teachers in New South Wales will receive cost of living bonuses and a right to disconnect after 3 p.m. It follows a pay increase last year to teachers in that state, which saw their salaries lift by between 8 to 12% as part of the New South Wales Labor government's commitment to reinvest in the state's essential service workers. In 2022, University of South Australia released a report commissioned by the AEU South Australian branch entitled Teachers at Breaking Point. The report found that South Australian teachers work an average of over 50 hours per week. Job satisfaction is as low as 52%, and only 6.8% of teachers feel that their views are valued by policymakers in South Australia. My question to the Minister for Industrial Relations and Public Sector therefore is the Minister concerned that South Australian teachers will cross the border to New South Wales to get a better deal? And what is this government doing to improve teacher retention, particularly in the public school system?
Call the Minister for Industrial Relations.
I thank the honourable member for his question, and I look forward to, when there is a public sector deal struck in any of the eastern states, to getting a question very soon after from the honourable member. I think there was a question about nurses in Victoria, and today it's school teachers in New South Wales. As I said in relation to his question before, I think there are many, many things that make us a destination that people want to live in and not leave. I think the days that you heard about people choosing to leave Adelaide and the jokes that you heard from other states are well and truly over. I think there are many, many reasons that people choose to come to and to stay in Adelaide. In relation to teachers specifically, it was only in the last year, I think it was earlier this year, that we concluded negotiations for a new industrial agreement with teachers in South Australia. That included as part of, and I don't have the details in front of me, but did include as part of those negotiations, if I remember correctly, a right to disconnect, as the honourable members pointed out, from the New South Wales agreement. Of course, those negotiations weren't easy, and they often aren't. You know, the representatives of public sector workers, through their trade unions, negotiate fiercely for their workers' rights and conditions. That EB was concluded. There are more EBs for public sector workers coming up over the next 18 months that we look forward to negotiating in good faith with public sector unions. It is something that is vastly different from the last government, who had things that they, in the government's view, wouldn't consider. That manifests itself most profoundly in the negotiations between the former government and ambulance workers, who spent 4 years without getting a pay rise due to an EB, and the government took off the table any possibility of back pay. I'm very proud to be part of a Labor government that very early on in our term concluded negotiations with the Ambulance Employees Association that included back pay for every year that the Marshall-Lucas Liberal government didn't have that back pay.
Supplementary question, Mr President.
Question, Honourable Mr Sims.
Why is the Malinauskas Labor government lagging so far behind New South Wales and Victoria when it comes to paying our state's essential workers what they're worth?
Yeah, I think they're in for a question. That's not that is certainly not how I'd characterise how we treat our public sector workers. Pay is one part of what is offered. There were other, in terms of the teachers, very important elements as part of that negotiation. The right to disconnect, but also a reduction in face-to-face teaching time to allow teachers to do all that other important work was part of what we did in South Australia as well.